Welcome to the fourth part of the Merchant Marketer Seminar, The Right Start. Objection handling. How do I react correctly? Getting recommendations right. Follow-up of the sales pitch. After the game is before the game. Evaluate your work and your concrete result. How do I start building a merchant network, region building, and resulting benefits for the merchant? Building on referrals from the new merchant. Administration, completion of the contract, explanation of all terms, and administrative tasks. After this fourth section, you can argue correctly for all objections and can evaluate my work objectively. I can further strengthen my competence. I know the benefits my merchant has when a region is perfectly set up, and I know the benefits that come with it. I can support my merchant perfectly when needed. These charts are intended for situational use, that is to say, at the merchant's request, to explain the context and details, and also for objection handling. This graphic helps you to explain to the merchant the process in the shop. Particularly suitable if the merchant states the following objection. This is too complicated for me. I do not have so much time for my customer. Or, I would have to buy a new cashier system. Your customer makes a purchase, and at the end of the payment process, you swipe the card through, and the customer is then identified. You enter the total amount of the purchase into the system, and the customer pays the full 100%. You can use our system on any tablet, PC, or mobile phone, and don't need a new device. We also have the option, if you would like, to integrate our product into your existing POS system. And that's also free of charge from our side. You do not need to think about transferring cash back to your customers. We take over. The allocation of the shopping points is done by us, so you have no additional administration. A summary of the benefits through our loyalty program. The loyalty merchant may ask, how often does a customer shop at my store, on average? What is the share of loyal customers in relation to new customers? How many new customers are added daily? How many people from my potential target audience have I already been able to reach with my offer? Do my opening hours match my customer shopper behavior? We offer businesses a ready-to-use customer loyalty program, joint marketing with the big players on the market, additional earnings from other sectors, international, multi-sector, and online, future-oriented technical solutions, with as little admin effort as possible, fair and clear billing of discounts, no pay and pray, first sales, then commission, loyalty card in the customer's wallets, reduced costs thanks to B2B, recommendation through the Cashback World community, multi-channel marketing on many platforms at no extra cost. Our system provides you with answers to your fundamental questions, and much more. Objection. I don't know. I don't have the technical know-how. Who will help me when I need something? We have a clear concept of how to proceed to provide service for new merchants from the beginning. This already begins with the so-called welcome call, which takes place within 24 hours of the delivery of the merchant contract. As it also concerns your new partner, it is not only important to be his first customer, but also to support him with words and deeds. Be available as a contact person. After a short time, the new loyalty merchant will appreciate the support from the country's office and will contact them directly if he has any questions. Consider every difficult question, every demand, every rejection, every objection, or pretext as a personal training session. Selling begins when your potential customer says no. Questions and objections can occur at any time and are sometimes too early, meaning it can be at an unfavorable moment for the merchant marketer. For example, if your discussion partner asks for the right price at the beginning, even though the merchant marketer wants to gather or communicate information first, then use the boomerang technique. This works in 3 steps. 1. Words of personal recognition. For example, "That's a good question," or "That's an important aspect," or "Thanks for coming directly to the crucial point," or "I am glad that you asked directly for it." 2. Boomerang. For example, "We have to talk about that too," or "I'll go into that," or "I would like to talk to you in more detail about this." 3. Anchor question or alternative question. For example, "Would you allow me to first finish with my presentation?" Or, "May I come back to it at the end of my speech?" Or, "Would you mind if I address this point at a later moment?" Or, "I would like to discuss this aspect in more detail and would like to arrange a separate appointment. Would another time suit you better?" The first step is so important as the merchant must realize that the merchant marketer has heard and understood his objection. Always remember that most people cannot read your mind, so just say what you are thinking. The second step is the boomerang. You serve the objection back in an elegant manner. It takes some practice to make the boomerang look truly elegant. The merchant marketer must listen carefully so that the words of the merchant are properly integrated in the boomerang. Just mastering the objection technique is not enough. In the third step, the merchant marketer rejects the merchant's question or objection and obtains the merchant's consent. We recommend that you make a brief note in front of him before proceeding with what you have started. This clearly signals that the point is recorded and taken seriously. What do people really buy? People buy the product, concept, or program for what it can do for them. In other words, the benefits. This is mentioned and imparted intensively in a good sales training, but things we have heard many times and have known for a long time become worn out over time. That's why we want to polish it up at this point and harness it. An example from experience. The salesman doesn't sell a technical device to the housewife, Thermomix, but comfortable cooking, fresh preparation, guaranteed success, or more time for the essentials. Do you know what your merchant expects from your product, concept, or program? A good merchant marketer examines the business of his merchants and looks at it with his own eyes. He asks about the problems, the current and future challenges of his conversation partner, and thinks about it as if it were his own company. An experienced merchant marketer knows what the product, concept, or program does, and instead of rattling off all possible features, he specifically mentions the advantage that the merchant could actually use. This is exactly what people want to buy from you, because people buy what offers benefits. If you have had enough opportunities to find out what your discussion partner is expecting with the help of specific questions, you make your proposal. If possible, only name the price once your loyalty merchant has received all the relevant information regarding the services and details of your offer. Otherwise, try to delay talking about the price, for example, using the boomerang technique. When it comes to talking about the price, be open about it and talk in a confident manner. Look your discussion partner in the face. Keep eye contact. Speak calmly, without hesitation and without hurrying. Offer the best first. Make your best and most expensive proposal first. If you work with a sandwich method, buffer the price with useful arguments. Avoid using the term costs. You can get the Premium Partner Program with included loyalty program and the Clear CRM for X number of euros. Name the added value, the advantages, and additional benefits. Put the price in relation to the benefit period. Make it look smaller. The loyalty merchant says that it's too expensive? Don't panic. The price isn't too high. The customer isn't seeing the full potential. Consider the objection as a question or ask for clarification. You can also try to pretend that you didn't hear the objection, if you believe it is coming at the wrong time. Bear in mind that this objection can also be a tactic. Method 1. Highlight the price. Why do you think our product is too expensive? In what regard? The expected benefit, quality, competitive offer, budget, etc. Find out if it is a perceived discrepancy or an excuse. Method 2. Trivialize the price. Why do you think our product is not worth the price? You think it's too expensive for our premium product? The purchase price is not decisive. It's only part of your calculation. Are you having doubts about whether you'll recoup the costs? You can also opt for a cheaper product, such as the Partner Program. But would that really give you what you're after? For example, if you were just an acceptance point without having active possibilities. Ask for a like-for-like offer comparison, and not just price comparisons for something similar. Keep in mind, the possibilities with the cashback card are unique. There are currently no comparable concepts which offer exactly the same services. Get recommendations. No matter in which stage the negotiation is postponed, and no matter how your merchant decides, yes or no, or reacts, never leave him without the question or polite request for potential, further interested parties from his environment. Get an active referral, for example with the following phrases. Do you have an idea whom I could share our concept with? Who else could be interested in our concept? Where else could I introduce myself? We are also looking for a dedicated hairdresser, baker, etc. Can you recommend someone? A self-confident merchant marketer gives his opponent time to think and also signals non-verbally that he is seriously interested in a suggestion. Don't discuss the situation to death. If your conversation partner gives you one or more addresses, please make a note of them immediately. Also, ask for a contact person. An experienced merchant marketer also gets the consent of the recommender to be allowed to specify him as a reference. For example, with the following formulation. May I tell Mr. John Doe or Ms. John Doe that you have given me the tip? If you request an active full recommendation every time you make a contact, it saves you a lot of time searching for new, suitable merchants. In addition, getting started is a lot easier because you can make an appointment, for example, with the following words. Hello, Mr. or Ms. YZ. I'm just coming from Mr. or Mrs. XX and have presented our new marketing concept. Mr. or Mrs. XX gave me the tip to introduce myself to you because he or she said that our services could be interesting for you. I would like to introduce you to the concept. Would you have time this week or next week? In this way, you are passing yourself on from one to the other. Even if not always successful, you will be thrilled about every new contact person you receive in this way. The follow-up. Successful coaches and athletes state, after the game is before the game. The same applies to our successful business as a merchant marketer. Despite all hectic schedule and temptations in everyday situations, you should always try to schedule time for yourself after completing a customer meeting. Calm down and listen to your inner feeling. This is important. What feeling do you have right away after the conversation? How satisfied are you with the outcome of the conversation? What is the concrete result, or what are the agreed next steps? Ask yourself openly and honestly. What went well in this appointment, and why? What wasn't so good? What was the issue? What will I take over for future conversations? What information should I get as soon as possible? Because, again, I could not provide clear information on this or that point. Take short notes. These will help you. A. To simplify the entry into the next round of talks, because you will remember again and tune in accordingly, and/or to prepare. B. To be well organized. C. To further enhance your competence. Whatever the outcome of a sales pitch will be, either you bring it to a conclusion or you learn something. Both are valuable. Always remember, you are not on the run. You are judged primarily on your results, not on your speed. You don't have to know everything immediately or act immediately. If you are in a situation where you feel insecure or don't know what to do, then mentally press the pause button. Take your time by saying, "I'd like to think about that and give you an answer on my next visit." Don't say that you have to ask the head office. Then you have disqualified yourself as an important conversation partner, and then your merchant may just want to talk to someone from the head office. A good merchant marketer must also be able to say no. Do this calmly, confidently, and look your merchant in the eye. Phrases like, "That's not possible," should be easy to say. In no case should you point out the country's office, which only makes you look small and insignificant. Explanations do not always have to be made. Remember, if the explanation is too long and unconvincing, then it seems more like a justification and rather weakens you. The aim of you and your new merchant is to turn his customers into fans, who in turn attract new customers. People speak about him. This allows your merchant to directly influence his sales and thus his earnings. And as you gain more and more intuition from your regular work, more will join the community from the company's immediate surroundings. And together, of course, these companies can achieve more than one on his own. Therefore, it is essential to start with the merchant properly and professionally. Consider yourself as a customer. You receive a loyalty card from a merchant, and the person giving you this card has done everything right. He has fully informed you, has even given you an overview of where to use the card, and is very knowledgeable and friendly. Do you use the card every day? As a customer, you will only use the card regularly under certain conditions and not leave the card forgotten at home. You will use the card when there is an adequate network of merchants in your immediate area, when it comes to shops you need on a regular basis, when you are asked for the card, if you are repeatedly reminded of the card by stickers on the door, if you are satisfied with the service of the loyalty merchants, if you clearly recognize the benefits you have, if you have the app on your mobile phone and thus can easily access the digital card. Therefore, it is essential to build up the region properly and to inform the merchants correctly. No one benefits if a merchant is registered who is badly informed and believes everything will fly off the shelf with just his signature. Help him, and above all, explain to him that building up the region through his recommendations will bring immediate benefits to all concerned. What's important is a balanced mix of industries and a large number of merchants who recommend their customers to their fellow entrepreneurs. Every business owner knows other business owners in his immediate surrounding, and A sales conversation with a businessman whom I have addressed by a recommendation is 75% positive. Explain to your new partner the benefit of the recommendation. His colleagues' clients will become his customers. It creates a symbiosis between the entrepreneurs. Each sends its customers. The customers often use the card because they have many options for it. This increases the marketing bonus, and other income opportunities are opening up. Those you explain later on. Thus, a never-ending process of one recommendation to another arises, and you can build up the region in no time. The ideal situation arises when the merchant picks up the phone himself and calls his fellow entrepreneur across the street. If he now informs him in an enthusiastic way and asks him immediately if he can send him his customers, the conversation partner will certainly not have a problem with that. At the beginning, you will be conducting the sales conversation, but there will also be many business owners who, because of this experience, will be very interested in doing so themselves. And a businessman who explains this fantastic program to another businessman is probably the joker among merchant marketers. One thing is always essential. If your merchant clearly recognizes the benefits he has gained as a result of his loyalty program, then he will also recommend it to others. If he just waits for something to happen, he will not give a recommendation. That is why it is essential that you are also the first customer of the business, and also talk about it in your network, and encourage your marketers to buy from the loyalty merchant. 5 recommendations from the first merchant results in a further 25 recommendations. After that, it's 125, and so on. A never-ending stream of new contacts. And after a very short time, you have opened up your region. After that follows the next region, etc. The increase in loyalty merchants will open the region, and, in turn, will increase sales turnover. Of course, this gets around, and the second immediately adjacent region is unlocked. As a result, many new members are added to the customer community, and more members mean more sales at your loyalty merchant. A spiral that continues to speed up. And always pay attention to the specific industry. Which company do you and your team need? As an additional feature, the Merchant Overview and the Merchant Lounge should be used to identify the merchants in the area. It should be printed out and be given straight to the customer. The right strategy for building in your region is: start with business owners you know. Get recommendations from your merchants. Use the power of the network and the contacts of your lifeline. To move faster, you should use the power of the community, bundle your resources, and use the support of My World subsidiary. Make use of the merchant info. Invite merchants to this information event and save time. Through targeted use of this event, even those who do not trust themselves to a sales conversation can regularly invite their well-known merchants or their recommendations and motivate them to get started. At the end of the event, however, you must be keen to reach a decision, just as in the personal sales pitch. With this merchant info, the B2B process is also automatically started when the merchants discuss and get to know each other. Merchant info is hosted in your country by an eminent merchant marketer in collaboration with the My World subsidiary. The event dates can be found in the back office of Lyconet. Duplication is the magic word. You have to duplicate yourself, because only then can you quickly set up a strong team in your environment to open up the region together. The faster a region is developed, the better it will work. To achieve this, you need to work with other marketers from your team. Therefore, bring at least 3 people from your team to the next Merchant Marketer Seminar. Also, This event can be found on www.lyconet.com in the Logged In area. And the last section of our fourth part is the administration. In order to be taken seriously, it's imperative that you can carry out the registration process with the loyalty merchant smoothly. Practice this section on the website www.partner.cashbackworld.com. Once you have completed the online seminar for merchant marketers, you'll receive a confirmation mail with your username and password for a test loyalty merchant account. You will need these login details in order to familiarize yourself with the Loyalty Merchant's Merchant Lounge. It is also necessary to learn the registration process for loyalty merchants in detail, so you know exactly what goes in each field. The online registration is at www.partner.cashbackworld.com. The following steps are necessary. 1. Login. www.partner.cashbackworld.com. 2. Select Retail. 3. Follow the registration process. The registration process begins with the selection of the product. During the product selection process, there are 3 hypothetical scenarios. The loyalty merchant chooses the partner program. The loyalty merchant chooses the premium partner program without an additional module. Or the loyalty merchant chooses the partner program with an additional module. We assume that the loyalty merchant chooses the partner program. It is possible to choose an additional module. Should you wish to select an additional module as part of the next step, a window will appear which will indicate that the additional modules are only available to those who have decided on the Premium Partner Program. Consequently, you will then proceed without having selected an additional module. Start with the registration of the loyalty merchant. This will then be explained step by step at a later point. Let's assume that the loyalty merchant has chosen the Premium Partner Program. The loyalty merchant decides against an additional module in this case, and, as a result, choose neither of the 2 modules. Click on Skip. During the next step, you will choose whether the loyalty merchant wishes to order cashback cards and registration flyers additionally in the standard design. Select the desired quantity from the drop-down menu and click on Continue. Select the desired payment model. You can choose between monthly and annual payments. Click on Continue. Make a start with the registration, and we will provide you with more details later. Furthermore, we will explain how the Premium Partner Program with additional module works. First, select the product Premium Partner Program. The loyalty merchant can either select one of the 2 additional modules or both of them. The Customer Communications module includes features such as customer surveys and newsletter dispatch. The Card and Flyer Design package includes 250 branded cashback cards and registration flyers. The loyalty merchant chooses, for example, the Card and Flyer Design package. The loyalty merchant now has the option of ordering more cashback cards and registration flyers. Select the desired quantity using the drop-down menu. Click on Continue. Select the desired payment model. The loyalty merchant can pay either monthly or annually. Click on Continue. Begin the registration process, which we will explain to you in the course of the following slides. There are 2 available options when it comes to registering a loyalty merchant. The customer is either already a member of the Cashback World, or he will be registered as a new customer. If you wish to register an existing member, then click on I am already a member. Enter the Loyalty Merchant's Cashback World Shopping Community Member ID and his email address. Click on Continue. Enter the company's ID and the Loyalty Merchant's email address. Click on Continue. Enter the company's advertising name. From this point onwards, the registration process is identical to the new customer registration process. Only the email address and password do not need to be entered repeatedly. Click on Continue and bring the registration process step by step to an end, as we will explain how to do here. To register a new customer, click on Start Now. Now enter the company's advertising or marketing name. Enter the exact company name to ensure correct invoicing. Now enter the tax number. Of course, we also need the company's address. If the delivery address differs, you now need to enter that address. Should the loyalty merchant have more than one branch, enter details of this here. Enter the branch locations if the loyalty merchant has more than one branch. What is the email address? For members of the Cashback World Shopping community who have already been registered, no email address needs to be added here. What is the loyalty merchant's mobile number? Enter the web address for the loyalty merchant here. Is the loyalty merchant himself authorized to sign, or do they have an authorized signatory, for instance, a managing director? Select a password for the login details. For members of the Cashback World Shopping community who have already been registered, no new password needs to be added here. In which sector is the loyalty merchant active? This determines the agreed margin. Here you will see the margin that was agreed with you. Now we need the bank details. Now we need your merchant marketer's name and ID. Finally, click the business agreements and the GTCs. Just a quick note regarding the GTCs. Of course, you can't learn the general terms and conditions for loyalty merchants off by heart. However, you should at least have a general overview of the contents. For example, data privacy, use of the software, registration of purchases, billing, customer registration, don't ask for higher prices, logo usage, duration, and termination. Lastly, you will receive an order overview including all the data provided and your product selection. Please check the details one more time. If all entries are correct, then please click on Place Order Now. Now, complete the order process by selecting a payment method, for instance, direct debit or credit card. Now click on Pay Now. The order process and registration are now complete. One of the most important features of the loyalty program is the Cashback app. It is a must-have for all customers. Therefore, continually point out to the merchant that he should recommend this feature to all his customers. And of course, the merchant has it on his mobile device. To ensure that every loyalty merchant is visible, a door sticker is included in the advertising material. This must be placed at the visible height at the entrance to the business, so that the business is marked as being a loyalty merchant and the customers know, at this store, I get money back with every purchase and can collect shopping points. Social media is an increasingly important aspect for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. We provide the merchant with a platform on myworld.tv, where he can post a video and display his company accordingly. You should help the merchant become visible on not only My World, but on other social media platforms as well. It is your new merchant, and you too should be interested in increasing the merchant's recognition, publicity as quickly as possible. Point out to your new merchant that this is his loyalty program and that it will only work well if not only he, but also his employees consider this program as part of their product range. Therefore, it is essential that he instructs and trains his staff accordingly. How do I book sales? How do I pass the card on to a customer? And I ask each buying customer on each visit if he has his card with him. Important. Customers want to be asked if they have a card. This confirms that they have made the right decision every time they are asked. The more the customer is asked about it, the more he will use it. He will use it in other stores too.